Building High-Performance Teams, Second Edition. Chapter 1, How High-Performance Teams Happen. In a nutshell, high-performance teams happen when a group of people come together, they meet on a regular basis, identify obstacles, overcome challenges together, and work well with each other to successfully reach common goals on a consistent basis. High-performance teams are possible. They are real. They happen in organizations all around the country who commit themselves to making these teams a reality. They're not just an ideal hope. They are real. It's what makes companies grow. It's what creates opportunities for everyone involved. Like a garden where plants can grow and flourish, so is a great team where people and ideas can be nurtured and grow. It doesn't just happen. Teams don't just develop on their own. They're built on purpose with care and patience. They're assembled with intention. They're nurtured on purpose. There are countless examples of sports teams that spend a lot of amounts of money to recruit the best players and yet cannot become winning teams. However, many teams with lesser players can somehow achieve success and build legacies. What makes the difference? There are two components to this. You have to have incredible good managers dedicated to mentoring each team member individually and the team as a whole. They provide the tools, the training, and regular mentor to the expectations. And you have to have good players, great at what they do, who want to grow, are coachable, and who play well with others. They're willing and they're competent. That's the winning combination. That is what everybody wants. It is what managers want. It is what team players want. It is what makes work incredibly engaging and incredibly productive. But to build teams like this, it takes time. It requires diligence and hard work, like a garden. It requires ongoing nurturing, pulling up weeds, pruning, and watering, sometimes less, sometimes more. But with proper, consistent care, it produces great fruit. It provides consistent results. Unfortunately, for most people, this is not what is happening in their workplace. In fact, most people are experiencing quite the opposite. Our teams are often in disarray. Everyone tries to make things better. But after a while, it becomes a daunting task to have a good team environment. This becomes terribly discouraging and dysfunctional. So, how does dysfunctional teams happen? Chapter 2, How Teams Become Dysfunctional. Teams break down and become dysfunctional primarily because everyone on the team, managers and players, begin to disagree about everything. They all have different opinions but do not know how to get them in an agreed solution. They disagree about how things should be done. And those disagreements persist over long periods of time without resolution. And everyone begins to realize there is no consensus. There's no mutual buy-in, and it's impossible to get on the same page. After a while, these disagreements create negative attitudes and performance drops. But this breakdown doesn't just happen mysteriously. There are certain things that happen over a period of time that are not addressed early on. The first thing that happens is that new team members are not given much training. There may be a few days of orientation, there may be even a week or two of training once they're hired, but after this initial training, team members are sent out to perform without much coaching, mentoring, or training after that. Then people's roles and responsibilities change. People need to be open to change because it usually means opportunities for growth, but because there's little to no mentoring happening, these changes in people's roles are not well communicated, and everyone becomes confused as to who does what. Disagreements between team members increase, and the managers tend to not want to get involved. Then, tools and processes are not provided or not kept up. These procedures and processes could be the things as scripts, or how to answer the phones, or how to deposit money correctly, how to transport equipment, how to properly submit invoices, and the many other things that define how we do things around here. These procedures did not need to be written down before because everyone knew how to do them. But now there are more people involved, more people in the company, new opinions and new habits have crept in. The disagreements begin and the tension rises. After a while, everyone disagrees. People disengage in different ways, some externally, some internally, but ultimately disengagement impacts overall performance and team morale. Managers try to rally the team members, but their efforts are short-lived. Team members just clock in and do their job. Then, the managers begin to critique bad attitudes and low performance. Things at this point reach a tipping point. Managers blame team members and team members blame the managers. The managers say the team members do not know how to do their job or they have a bad attitude, and the team members say the managers don't know the job and don't know how to manage anyway. Then the team starts losing team members, and it takes long to find good replacements. This problem is nationwide, and it is deep. Companies have lost the art of attracting great candidates. They think that if it's happening to everyone, then that's why it's happening to them. But this is not the right way to think about it. Many companies know how to attract and keep great employees, while everybody else fails at it. That is what they say to themselves. Then, the cycle of dysfunctionality repeats over and over in the team. Patrick Lencioni wrote about this dynamic in his book when he said, "These dysfunctions become all too real. An absence of trust creeps in, everyone fears conflict, there's little commitment to the work, everyone begins to avoid accountability, and there's very little attention to performance and results. But there is a better way. It is by being intentional with a model that works, a model that speaks to the needs of both the managers and the team members, a model that calls on both sides to work well together and fosters everyone to align consistently to keep things relevant, focused, and addressing issues and fixing problems. We cover that model in the next chapter. But first, let's do a summary. What are the 8-step cycle of how teams become dysfunctional? Number 1, new team members are onboarded with only initial training and no follow-up coaching afterwards. Number 2, roles and responsibilities change fast and disengagement arises on how things should be done. Number 3, tools and systems are not updated to keep up with the growth of the business. 4, without clarity on roles and misaligned systems, the disagreements increase. Number 5, long periods of disengagement causes team members to lower their performance. Number 6, managers become critical. A sense of favoritism also creeps in. Number 7, people leave, some are dismissed, and the new team members are hired in the same way all over again. And number 8, the cycle repeats itself until the team becomes highly dysfunctional. Chapter 3, the high-performance team model. The high-performance model is simple and powerful. It is practical, and it gives everyone a fresh perspective, a new outlook on how to build a high-performance team, how to rebuild one, and how to sustain it. The initial outlook. Think of it like a pitcher and a catcher. They're both good players on their own, but in order to succeed, they depend highly on each other, and they count on each other to do their part. Neither of them waits on the other. They're both committed to their role. When they do that well, the rest of the team can likewise succeed. In this chapter, we will introduce the model, and in the following chapters, we will dissect each section and give the templates and strategies to make this very applicable and practical. The high-performance team model. The model is a wheel. You'll see it in diagram 1 in the book. It is a wheel with a strong core at the center that keeps the wheel going. The 5 slices of the wheel work like spokes in conjunction with each other, each one carrying its own weight, so that the whole wheel works. So how does it work? Let's do an overview. The overview of the high-performance model. The model has 3 sections. First, the managers on the right, the team members on the left, and 3, the ongoing one-on-one meetings at the center. To start using the model, we start at the top and move clockwise around the wheel towards the manager section. The right side of the wheel shows the primary responsibilities that managers are to provide the teams. Those are tools, training, and expectations. The journey continues clockwise to the team members and what they are to provide. They're to provide a willing attitude and a high level of competence. And in the middle is the one activity that holds everything together, that makes everything possible, and sustains the team. And that is the ongoing one-on-one discussions between the managers and each team member to review their progress and listen to their challenges. That's the model in a nutshell. Let's dissect each section.